Hi everyone, it's Plastic EP here on the fantastic Super Beatles Collectors Show. And don't we love this show? We're getting a lot of feedback. How are you today, Terry? And how are you today, Guy?
I'm fine here in Southern Illinois. How's everybody else?
How's Guy going?
I'm in Pennsylvania and I'm doing fine too. It's 8
That's
p.m.
fantastic. I've got to ask you, like I ask everybody out there, are you feeling groovy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, bananas, we think you're groovy. Hey, bananas, we watch a movie. Yeah. Driving June buggies everywhere, just going crazy without a care. Hey, bananas, we think you're groovy.
Right, straight into it today. We don't want to get too groovy. Now, let me tell you, Guy, you've been collecting this sheet music for how long?
About half a dozen years. It's one of the more recent additions to my Beatles collection.
Fantastic. Now, I've got to say, you've got a fantastic room there with a lot of collectibles. And Terry, I want you to show your book. Have you got a handy? Show everyone the new edition of your book and go through it with us.
He always has it handy.
It's amazing when you ask for that. I always have it. Second edition.
Just lift it a bit higher so we can't see your head, Terry.
I understand that. That's the best way to see it right there.
Perfect. All right, everybody in the world, that's a Beatles collector. Terry, don't take it away. Bring it back. Everybody that's in the world that's a Beatle collector, I want you to go and buy this book. Give me the title, second edition, NEMS. What is it? Collecting from 1964 to what? 66? Read it out.
It's the business of selling Beatles merchandise in the United States from 64 to 66. So we go through
I got that right. I remember, Terry, so I do remember.
Right.
Let me tell you, he's a great author. And also, not only the second edition, it's got very good postage rates. Terry's fixed it in such a way that doesn't cost you a lot of money to get it. And I'm being serious. I don't know how you've done that deal, Terry, but you're really looking after the buyers out there. Make sure you buy it for your birthday, for your wife's birthday, for Christmas, for Easter, whatever excuse you got. Don't go to a restaurant, buy the book instead. Don't you agree, Guy?
I agree. I bought the first edition, but he sent me the second one for free.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know if he sent me the second edition. I'm not sure. I didn't get the first. Who knows anyway? Don't worry now. Guy, tell us what you're going to show us today because everyone's enthralled. We're going to look at the solo Beatles sheet music. What do you want to start with? What do you want to do?
Right. We're going to talk about solo Beatles sheet music, and we're going to start with Ringo. For the Beatles themselves as a group, almost all their songs were released in sheet music, but in the solo era, there was far less of their songs were released. Near the beginning of the solo era, right after they broke up, there was a lot more. But as time went on, less and less and less of their songs got released on sheet music. So we'll start with Ringo, and we'll look at the individual song sheets. Appropriate one to start with is this one here, early 1970. That was a song by Ringo that was a B-side of a 45. It was the B-side of It Don't Come Easy. But back then, they were so big that even a B-side of a 45 would be released as a individual sheet music. Here's more early Ringo songs. Back Off Boogaloo. You probably know that one because that was a pretty big hit.
That looks great. That looks like my wife in makeup.
Who Coobs of Blues, another, that was the title of one of his albums, but also one of the songs that was released as a single. Here's one that was never released as a single, and it wasn't even a song that Ringo wrote. It was Blue Turning Gray Over You. This was a song he used to sing before he even joined the Beatles with his family, and it was on his original solo album, Sentimental Journey.
Now tell me the story of that building. Why that building is in that sheet music? Who knows?
Oh, geez. I remember that. I remember it vaguely. It was some building in Liverpool. I think it's a pub. It was a pub in Liverpool that he went to early on. That's pretty much
fair enough.
What I remember. Now, his biggest hit album in 1973 was the one that was just called Ringo. That had 3 big hit songs, and one of them was Photograph, and that was co-written by George Harrison.
One of my favorites.
Some of the
isn't there one on The Greatest written by John Lennon?
right? Yes, I'm the Greatest was written by John, and he also.
And then there's another one, something about a devil or something, written by Paul. Is that right by memory?
Oh, I think that Devil Woman one was also George, but there was a couple Paul ones.
I know Paul wrote one for him on that album.
This, 6 o'clock was the one that Paul wrote.
Could be.
On the radio album, right?
That's a great song, Terry. Do you know the one, 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
You've just gone to sleep. Remember that one?
Yes, sir.
That's the one Paul wrote. So this was such a big hit that some of the ones that are the bigger hits, then they get re-released. And here's a more recent version of the Photograph sheet music.
That's great.
Also from Ringo, album Year 16 was a big hit for Ringo. And Oh My, that was another one that George helped a lot on. The next album,
fantastic.
The next album for Ringo, another oldie that he did that was a hit, that was on the Goodnight Vienna album, Only You.
That's a great one. He's standing on top of the Capitol building with a UFO. Isn't that great?
Right.
And he's Hudson Rainey, Terry, Mr. Podcast. He says, very cool. The building was close to his childhood home, that building, right?
And that was another one that was re-released later. So here's another version of the Only You sheet music.
He's looking 70s there, isn't he? Pre-disco.
Yep. These are all from the 70s. The No song.
No. That's a good one. Terry, do you know the line of the song, No?
I know a couple lines in that song.
And this is the B-side of the No song, Snookeroo. Eventually, they kind of flipped that and made that the A-side. So that was pretty popular. Elton John was involved in this one.
Guy, I got to say, your sheet music is immaculate. It's like being in an art gallery. You agree there, Terry?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. And Guy, let me ask you something again. You said that when they first broke up, they had a lot of their songs come out on sheet music, but as the years went on, it kind of waned out and thinned out a little bit.
But a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot. And you'll see, I'm almost through the Ringo. Once we get past like 1977, 76 and 7, there's no more Ringo sheet.
Okay.
Like this is the Goodnight Vienna.
You know what? It's probably collecting royalties.
The title song from that.
Terry,
and then,
you know what? There's no more Ringo sheet music after that. It's probably collecting royalties.
Probably
like that one. Go, keep going, guys. You're doing a great job. I'm relaxing. You're sitting back and enjoying the show. You too, Terry?
I'm fine.
The next album was
keep it going, guy. I'm having a great time today.
Rotogravure, A Dose of Rock and Roll, and Hey Baby was from that album, and that was in 76, and that was pretty much the end of Ringo sheet music, single song sheet music. There was this one. This one's You Never Know. It's from the movie Curly Sue.
Curly Sue.
But Ringo sang that song, You Never Know.
Can you bring it closer? I've never seen that in my life. Bring it up. It's reflecting my face there too. That's perfect. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Thank you, Guy.
And then here's an oddity one. This one, the song's Daybreak by Harry Nilsson, and it's from a movie that Ringo also acted in, and he's on the cover there. He's the one that's leaning down in the corner there. He played Merlin the magician in that movie. So he's on the cover of this sheet music, but this isn't a Ringo song.
Amazing.
That's it for Ringo sheet music. Now the songbooks for Ringo, again, you got only the early ones. You got Buku of Blues, you got Ringo, you got Goodnight Vienna, and
I love that.
That's it. Other than the son of the son of Dracula one, and that just Ringo was acted in it. He didn't sing in it though, but his name's on.
That's amazing stuff, Guy. I haven't seen 3/4 of that stuff. What about you, Terry?
No, and the sheet music, it's just like anything else, EP. It's its own little genre and its own little niche there. And I really, even though all the stuff I collect and look at, the sheet music was not something that I was conscious of like that. But I love watching Guy and these guys do stuff like that, because it's taken me to a different place that I didn't know. I didn't know this stuff was out there, for example. In
What are we doing now, guy?
fashion
Just
that
come
is.
more
Yeah.
center, guy. Come a little bit more center.
Center, like that. Right there.
Right there, that's center.
There you go.
We love having a gag. You look perfect, I tell you.
All right,
We still
so
can't get over your photo when you were a child in the Beatles t-shirt. I reckon that's classic. You agree, Terry?
I still have that, and I'm going to use it someday.
Man, I'll tell you something. You become famous from that photo. I've never seen someone that's kept a photo of themselves. How old were you, guy?
4.
4. That's in a
4,
Beatle t-shirt with a Beatle wig and still got the photo. I'll take my hat off to you. I reckon it's great. What are we doing next?
You ready for George Harrison?
Bring him on.
I'm ready. Terry's ready because Terry's got to go back to NASA after this show.
Okay, so George's big album, the first solo album, was All Things Must Pass. And so that was an example where they had a whole lot of sheet music, like a lot of the songs. Now, this is My Sweet Lord, of course. That's a the big hit off the album. But, we have All Things Must Pass, Awaiting on You All, a track from that.
Yeah.
Isn't It a Pity?
Yeah, keep it rolling.
The Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp. I mean, those are just albums. There was other ones too that I don't have. They're hard to find.
They weren't too creative with the covers of all these, were they?
No,
yeah, I'm saying we're still looking at the same pic.
Yeah, same picture. This is an odd one. My Sweet Lord, Isn't It a Pity for stage band, and it's the same song all the way through, but for all the different instruments.
That's all right. I can't read sheet music. It's no problem.
The pages are perforated to tear them out to give them to each of the different players. But this one's that's a really rare one. The My
So what you could do is you could tear off a page and sell each page on eBay. And if you're lucky enough, they'll pay for each page.
That is very true.
I'll bet you could. Again, from All Things Must Pass, What Is Life? 40th single, and then the B-side of that one was Apple Scruffs.
That's Cracker Jack Palace, isn't it? That's the name of his house.
Yeah, that's from his house, right, at Friar Park.
Yeah, what's his house called again?
Friar Park.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Jack, what is it? Jack, whatever. A Box Palace. That's another song.
Yeah,
Cracker Jack Box Palace.
Cracker Box Palace.
It was interesting that after All Things Must Pass, they stopped issuing album tracks, but they still issued B-sides. Like, here's the sheet music for Bangladesh, but here's the sheet music for Deep Blue, which was the B-side of Bangladesh.
Gee, they spent a lot of money on the cover, didn't they, Terry?
I sense a pattern here.
Hey, can I ask you, Terry? Sorry, guy, go back one.
Deep Blue?
So what they think is, if you didn't read the words, you'd think it's the Double White album. Okay.
Exactly.
So from Living in the Material World, we had Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth. And there's the title track for the album, Living in the Material World. Then his next album was Dark Horse.
That's a good one on the park bench at home.
There's the Dark Horse. And then the other single from Dark Horse was Ding Dong, Ding Dong.
Ding Dong's a good one.
And then the next album was Extra Texture. So there's the single from Extra Texture.
That's a nice cover. Something different.
Yeah, that's different. And then the flip side of You single was World of Stone. And, almost nobody even knows that song, but it came out on sheet music because it was a B-side.
Fantastic. I'm impressed.
That ends the Apple era for George. And then he went on to Warner Brothers there. And then this song, and here's the one you mentioned earlier, Cracker Box Palace.
Another great photo.
Blow Away.
Oh, that's a good one. Blow Away. I remember that song.
Love Comes to Everyone. There's his son, Danny.
Yep.
Who's now runs Dark Horse Records.
Fantastic.
Wake Up My Love. I think I
You
found
notice there's no glare. You've become a professional there, guy. There's no glare. You're doing a great job.
the right spot now here to hold them up. Okay,
This is love. Keep it going. Keep it rolling.
This is the one that after John was killed all those years ago.
Yeah, great song.
Again, the B side of that was Teardrops. Nobody really knows that song, but it was it was put out on sheet music because it was a B side. The other one that was from that era that referenced a lot of Beatles, When We Was Fab.
Another great song.
Yeah, one of my faves.
Got My Mind Set on You.
Another fave. I love that.
And that's the last one then for George, but then there was a couple from when he was in the Traveling Wilburys.
Yeah, I love the Traveling Wilburys.
Handle with Care and End of the Line.
Where did you get most of this sheet music? Is it eBay or just going to your local guitar shop?
Yeah, I started getting them, in a music store, but most of them were eBay because by the time I really started collecting them, they were those songs weren't available anymore.
Well, that's fantastic. We've done Ringo and we've done George. That's correct.
Well, we didn't do the George songbooks yet.
Okay, so we've got to do that.
Here we go. Here's pretty much his whole canon of albums. All Things Must Pass. Living in the Material World.
Right.
Dark Horse. Extra Texture. 33 1/3.
That's a great one, that cover.
The one that's just called George Harrison. Somewhere in England. Gone Troppo.
I've got that album.
Yeah.
Is that hard to get, the Gone Troppo album?
Well, they didn't sell a lot. It was one of those ones that wasn't really promoted by the record company, so it didn't. Well, and George didn't really promote it. He didn't want to go out and go on radio and television shows and promote it. So it didn't do that well. So then it was quite a long break before he came back with Cloud 9, and then that
like Cloud 9, good album.
That one he promoted properly, and it became a pretty big hit. And then his last album that came out like after he died was Brainwashed.
Right.
And then the last couple here, this is the box set. The Apple years, and then the Dark Horse years. You can see those are thick.
Those are thick, sure.
They're great. They're great. Where'd you get them? eBay again?
Yeah.
And
how expensive were they, guys? Do you remember how much you paid?
I mean, whatever the list price was of these, I got them when they first came, out.
I bet you they're harder to get now.
If you if you want to collect something like this, the solo stuff is like reasonably priced. You could put together a really nice collection without paying a lot for. Other than those real early George ones, those are pretty expensive. But other than that, they're not, they're not that expensive. Not like the Beatles ones, And then the last two here in the George is the Traveling Wilburys Volume 1, and then the Traveling Wilburys Volume 3. And there was no Traveling Wilburys Volume 2 album. That was
I know, that was the joke.
Yeah,
I was looking for Volume 2 in the shops, couldn't find it.
Yeah. All right, so that was the story on Ringo and George.
Fantastic. Aren't you loving this, Terry?
It's an amazing night, EP.
I like his collection behind him too.
I do too.
You like seeing the pictures of the covers, Terry, right?
Yeah, it's interesting how those progress or don't progress along there.
Well, a lot of times they use alternative photos too. You don't see them anywhere else but the cover of the sheet music.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so on we go to John Lennon. His first single was "Give Peace a Chance," the Plastic Ono Band. That was the original concept of what the Plastic Ono Band was going to look like. It was just supposed to be like wires and speakers and tubes and stuff. And it was going to be a concept band whoever played on the John Lennon album or record at that time was going to be considered the Plastic Ono Band. But it didn't really stay that way. But that's the original way. Again, a popular song, so it was reissued. But Cold Turkey, the same cover there with the original concept of the Plastic Ono Band. but he's got some nice covers. You know, Instant Karma was a nice one. For some reason, then at that time, they stopped putting pictures on the covers for a little while. So you got some boring ones. You know, Power to the People's just brown, Mother just black, Love just maroon, and then Imagine, the original one, came out. It was just blue like this, but that's like such a super huge hit song. There's so many versions of the Imagine sheet music. You know, this was the next one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Then this one was Imagine for easy piano, and then this was the Imagine for vocal and guitar, and this is
you got to Imagine for tuba.
For
somewhere they do, EP.
Yeah.
Somewhere they do.
This one was for what is it for? Piano
accordion.
You know, and then this is another one that has like 1, 2, 3 for different instruments. There's another one of Imagine. You know, they just.
Hey, can I say something? You know, in Italy, they got the one Imagine sheet music for piano accordion.
It's somewhere.
You know, Happy Xmas, that one didn't come out on sheet music originally. This came out, you know, many years later, but this is actually the first issue in the US of that on sheet music. You know, the controversial Woman is the Nigger of the World, you know, it was controversial somewhat when it was released, but you know, nowadays it would be, you know, incredibly.
I love the sheet music with the photos. The ones blank.
Right. What, you know, from Now We're Up to Walls and Bridges, you know, whatever gets you through the night. This one's a really cool cover here, Number 9 Dream. You know, if you can.
It's a beauty.
See that one, yep. This is from the Rock and Roll, Bebop-A-Lula.
I didn't know they did a sheet music for that album. I thought that was a TV show.
Well,
album.
The Roots,
you know what I mean? Like a special.
Right, that was Roots, but then they actually issued a regular one called Rock and Roll with most of the same songs. I think Roots had a couple different ones that. Anyway, there was 2 from that one, Bebop-A-Lula, and also then, you know, Stand By Me. And then, of course, John didn't record for those 5 years. That takes us up to 75. Then he didn't record until 1980. And then we have the, you know, Starting Over, another version of Starting Over. You got Woman.
Beautiful sheet music.
Watching the Wheels.
Yeah.
Nobody Told Me. Same picture on I'm Stepping Out. And then this was one that Yoko did after he died, but they were working on it before he died. So John plays guitar on that one, Walking on Thin Ice. And then this one became popular too. So they put it out on sheet music, Grow Old With Me. And that's the John Lennon sheets.
Thanks for that.
And again, for John, there's not that many of the songbooks, but this is the Plastic Ono Band one. No picture on the cover.
Has it got a picture of the Plastic Ono Band inside that sheet music? Can you show me?
Nope. There's no pictures inside other than sketches like that.
Okay, that's fine.
Nothing but sketches of the tree. And then Imagine, same thing. It's just no picture. There's Sometime in New York City. Again, no picture, but that's kind of more like what the cover of the album is, at least. Then this one, they finally went to the picture. This is the Walls and Bridges one. If you recall that Listen to This promotion campaign, Terry, you should
Yes.
agree with that, right? With all
Yes.
the advertisements.
Exactly.
Listen to this.
Everything. Yeah.
Poster, button, bumper sticker, whatever. Well, that was Listen to the Songbook. This is the Rock and Roll album that has the same songs as Roots, the one that they sold by mail order. And there's Double Fantasy. And then the follow-up, Milk and Honey. And then a Greatest Hits one, the John Lennon Collection. And then the last one is, this is a compilation, Every Man Has a Woman, but there is a John Lennon song on it. So, I mean, they're all John Lennon songs, but there's actually one that John Lennon's performing. So that's why it made the cut into my collection. So that's the John stuff. Now,
Well done, guy. Great collection there.
not surprisingly, there's more Paul than anything.
I figured that's where this was going to go.
Yeah, right.
He's probably got to go out to the truck and get the sheet music.
He's got to stand up for this one. Did you see that?
Yeah, because he's gone out to the truck to get the truckload of sheet music.
Yeah. Now, if you recall the story of Paul's first solo album, McCartney, the song "The Lovely Linda," he just made that up on the spot. It was just to test the equipment that it was the first test of the equipment that he put in his studio that he built at his farm in Scotland. But even that got released on sheet music. You know that song, Terry, right?
Yeah.
Can you sing
Terry
it?
knows every song.
Sing it for the audience, Terry?
No, I'm fine.
But this was again the era when there was they weren't using pictures. So you got Another Day with "Oh Woman, Oh Why," no picture. But then that one
It's just another day.
Right. That was popular, so that was re-released later with with an actual picture of Paul. Now, who would have ever thought "Ooh You"? It's just almost an instrumental. There's hardly any words other than "Ooh You." But yep, sheet music. Uncle Albert. Hi, hi, hi. Now that was again a popular song. It's a hit single, so that one got re-released later. Mary Had a Little Lamb, and there's Give Ireland Back to the Irish. At least they made that one green for Ireland, for Irish. Now, this one has, I think this is the one. No, it's not this one. It's this. This is another version of Give Ireland Back to the Irish.
Any picture inside?
When I bought this one, where the heck is it?
Did Paul sign it?
No, here it is. This is the actual. This came into that sheet music. It's actually the original order form for the sheet music, like how many they were going to print and how much it would cost. To print all the copies of the sheet music. So somehow that was in that one. It just came in that one when I bought it.
Probably came from the printer. He left it in there.
Yeah. So maybe I'm amazed, even though that was from the first album, it didn't come out as a single till like 6 years later. So that's why this one has a nicer cover. And now we're back to nice pictures on the cover. My Love, Live and Let Die from James Bond movie.
That one's great.
The title song. Then he had the big hit Band on the Run album.
Yep.
So they had the Band on the Run and Jet and Hell on Wheels. Those were the three big hits from that album. Now the next album was Venus and Mars in 1975. That was the last one where they put out a whole lot of songs that other than like album tracks that weren't singles. And you can see in this one now, here's the title track, Venus and Mars Rock Show. But for that album, they also put out Love in Song.
Yep.
Listen What the Man Said. Now that was a single. Letting Go. Treat Her Gently and Lonely Old People. You Gave Me the Answer. Oh no, that's the last one that there was really a bunch of sheet music like that. After that, it was only the hits, only the singles. There's a newer version of Listen to What the Man Said. And Silly Love Songs was a huge hit in '76, and the follow-up was Let 'Em In. This is even Let 'Em In, though, they had a version for marching band.
Go, EP.
Yep. That's a folio.
Yeah.
And it's got all the different, the individual,
yep.
All the individual. I can't. I'm back.
Exactly.
There you go. For all the different individual instruments in the marching band.
Yeah.
Look at eBay. You want to make some extra money? Just sell them page by page to the bands.
I can't imagine a lot of marching bands playing "Let 'Em In," but I guess so. Here's a really one with a cool picture on the cover, Junior's Farm.
I love that song.
Yep. And then the flip side of Junior's Farm was Sally G. That was a nice country song. This one didn't have a picture because this was the one that they put out under the name of Susie and the Red Stripes, Seaside Woman. So there's no picture on that one.
Why did he put it out under that name?
Because I don't know, Linda sang lead on it, so they just called it Susie and the Red Stripes. All I know is the Red Stripe was a beer that they drank in Jamaica.
Okay.
So. But Linda sang lead, so they didn't put it out as a Wings song. They put it out as Susie and the Red Stripes. Now, that was a huge hit outside of the United States, Mull of Kintyre. And then the flip side of Mull of Kintyre, Girls' School, that was the hit in this country.
Great song. Mull of Kintyre is one of his #1 songs.
Yep. It's not well known in the United States, though.
It's huge in UK and Australia.
With a Little Luck was from London Town.
Hey, they're hanging from the bottom of the bracelet. Did you see that?
I saw it.
Yep.
Show Terry.
I know.
Yep.
Bring it closer. Let the fans see him dangling. There you go. Unreal. That's a great song.
Yep.
Hey, Guy, right on the front of those, who's the company that makes that in the lower center?
In the lower center, it says MPL. That's
okay. Oh, okay. Because in all of those that you're showing, like the ones that from the very first album that came out, they were McLean Music. I saw that was the people that did the sheet music and all that. They were all the same, and then they switched to the color and they did it. So there's got to be stories behind why one music company did it one way, one did it another way, and the changing of music, the printing and all that kind of stuff. That's where it gets interesting, is why who did what along that way.
The ones in this era, the Paul ones, they're also colorful.
Exactly.
They have nice pictures, and they're different pictures that you don't see anywhere else.
Yeah. Like
this one at London Town, Good Night Tonight. Now this is from Back to the Egg. There was pretty many songs from Back to the Egg that was on sheet music, because here's Getting Closer. Here's Daytime, Nighttime Suffering, which was a B-side. Arrow Through Me. Old Siam, Sir. Those were all Back to the Egg, songs. Let me clear out a little bit here.
Second truck EP.
There's the Wonderful Christmas Time. I read somewhere like how much money Paul makes every single Christmas season, for that one 3-minute song, every year, it makes them a couple $100,000, for writing that one song. Coming Up, always one of Paul's favorite, not one of mine, but Paul liked it. Waterfalls.
One of my favorites that should get more playing time, but it doesn't.
Which one? Waterfalls?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Not one of my favorites either, Ebony and Ivory, but that was a huge hit.
Yeah.
Take It Away. Again, a nice, colorful, interesting cover. That's the kind of thing that drew me to collecting sheet music, because when you get those different pictures like that.
Yeah.
Tug of War. And the two with Michael Jackson. Say, Say, Say was that was on Thriller, but then The Girl Was Mine was on Thriller. Say, Say, Say was on Paul's album.
Every single song sheet you got is immaculate. I can't believe it. Do you agree, Terry?
Yeah, they look pretty good. You've done a good job there, guys.
Yeah, again, with the solo ones, it's a lot easier to get really nice copies. You can, if it's something you're interested in collecting, it's something you can do without spending a fortune, like some of those Beatles, things. Obviously,
yes.
Another nice different looking picture cover. So Bad. From his movie, Give My Regards to Broad Street, No More Lonely Nights. This one's not too well known of a song, but it's such a great song. We All Stand Together, from the animated Rupert and the Frog song. Little short movie. Spies Like Us from the movie with Dan Aykroyd and who else? Who's in there with Dan Aykroyd? Chevy Chase.
That's it. Hey, Guy, if Paul McCartney wants to buy all your sheet music collection, you'll sell it to him, won't you?
Definitely. And then again, another, it's just a nice design for that one. Press.
You never know, Guy. He might watch this. Send you a message.
That would be fine. I'd answer Paul. His birthday's coming up this week.
Yes,
Well, he might buy himself a birthday present, all this sheet music.
Friday's his birthday. This is the one with Elvis Costello, My Brave Face.
Great song.
I don't quite know what this cover never made a lot of sense to me, but I love the song. This one. This is one from one of his his classical albums.
Great.
Save the Child. Now you can see that I'm almost out of Paul, and we're still in the 80s. It's just that they stopped issuing them on sheet music.
Yeah.
Hope of Deliverance, Off the Ground. Another
it's getting more arty now.
Yes, very much so. Is right.
Another one from the classical albums, A Leaf, The World Tonight, Freedom, the one that came he wrote right after 9/11. And that's about it for regular ones. There's a couple of other ones, Vanilla Sky from the movie, and then the ones with Kanye West with Paul McCartney, Only One, and then this one was a real big hit. That 4 or 5 seconds with Rihanna and Kanye. And the last one I have, this one is an interesting one. The song's called Linda. It was written about Linda Eastman when she was a little girl, and Paul had it issued on sheet music for her birthday when she was an adult. So that's an interesting one. You don't see that one very often.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. Apparently, Linda's father, Lee Eastman, was an entertainment lawyer, and he had clients write songs named after each of his children. So that's the one that was named after Linda. Okay, now the last section here is the songbooks for Paul. And
truck 3.
He's going to get another truckload. Look at that.
Paul. Yeah.
That's all right. The world's waiting. Let's go through them.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Paul has not stopped issuing all his albums.
I got to say, Guy, you're doing a fantastic job. I don't want to be here all night. Let's just get right into it.
All right, here we go. This is Paul's album. This is Paul's discography. Here we go. McCartney.
Why didn't they put black around that? They should have put black around that one.
Ram was his
Right.
second album. Wildlife.
Yeah.
Red Rose Speedway.
Hey, my favorite album.
Band on the Run.
Another fave.
The Venus and Mars, and this is two different versions of it. 2 different versions of the Venus and Mars one.
What's the difference?
Let's see. What's the difference? One is the organ version, and one is the piano vocal guitar version.
You had to ask.
I'll have the organ version. I reckon that's a beauty.
You had to ask.
Brings up the sweetest sound. Now,
If you find a piano accordion version in any of those songs, please let me know.
These aren't as creative. The covers, they're just basically the same as the album.
Yeah.
So they're not as fun for me to collect as those individual sheets. But London Town.
Yep.
Back to the Egg. McCartney 2.
Can you answer the question to me, Terry? Why does it say back to the egg and they're looking like at the moon or the earth?
I cannot answer that for you.
I mean, it's not like they're looking at an egg.
Well, I can, because they call the Earth the egg.
Okay,
So,
thank
yeah,
you.
what they're really looking at, that's the Earth. And
Gotcha.
it's
Which
supposed
is
to
the
be-
egg?
It's supposed to be in the spaceship looking at the Earth, which they call the egg. So I
That
can,
looks like someone's lounge room, and they're looking down.
and again, here's the regular tug of war, and then this is the organ tug of war.
Oh, there you go, all good.
Pipes of Peace. Give my regards to Broad Street.
That's a great movie, that one.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah. Press to Play. What comes next? Flowers in the Dirt. I made sure I put them all in the right order this afternoon.
You've done your homework.
Off the Ground.
See,
Flaming Pie. Run Devil Run. Love that. I love that album.
that's a great album, isn't it? What's your favorite song on it, guy?
Oh gosh. I don't know.
Open up the sheet music and pick a song
Oh yeah, okay. I could do
from the
that.
songbook.
I could do that. Let's see. I like Brown Eyed Handsome Man. There you go. And Driving Rain,
See,
Chaos and Creation in the Backyard.
that's a beauty, that one.
Yeah, that picture of Paul when he was really young was taken by his brother.
Yeah,
that was
great photo.
That was in their backyard.
Yep.
Taken by his brother. Memory Almost Full.
Yep.
Kisses on the Bottom. Well, that's not in the right order. I don't think. I think
That's the new.
New. Egypt Station.
It's a beauty.
And then the most recent one is McCartney 3. So
Now, how many Dice albums has he got out?
how many what?
Dice albums has he got different covers?
Oh, the covers of the die.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how many are.
About 9, 11, is it?
Yeah.
Well, some of them I don't think the covers are different, but they're different color vinyls.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
11 different colors, I think.
Have you collected them, Guy?
Yeah.
Have you got all of them?
Yeah.
Have you got all of them? The 11?
I don't have the one with the yellow one with the black dots. That there
So
was
you're looking
only,
for that one?
that's the one that was only 333 made. You know, that one I don't have.
Keep looking. I know where your money's gone now for buying those Dice albums, correct?
Yeah. So here's some greatest hits one. Wings greatest. All the best. Wingspan. Pure McCartney. And then there's a couple from the live albums. This one's from Wings Over America.
Can I say something? I got the songbook to the Wings Over America, right?
Mhm.
It's a bit different here in Australia, but I still got it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So you have a different.
I got a different cover a bit. It looks a bit different, the Australian one.
That cover opens up to have like a poster.
That's a great cover. Don't you agree, Terry?
Yeah, I like that. I
Let me
hadn't
tell you
seen how
something,
that
Terry. You
opens
don't know
like
this, right? But I got a Wings America. The album's never been played. But guess what? The poster inside the album is mint. I should frame that. I reckon that's hard to get.
Yeah.
Never opened the poster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, most people put tape on them and hung them on their bedroom walls, right? And this one's Trippin' to Live, fantastic. And then the last couple here, there's a songbook for the Live and Let Die soundtrack.
It's got a picture of James Bond in there.
Yep, James Bond.
Can we have a look? Go inside, open the book, have a look. There's a picture of him.
Oh, is there a picture of Paul?
No, a picture of James Bond.
Oh, James Bond.
Roger Moore.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Roger Moore, you got a picture.
There's lots of pictures in here.
Yeah.
That's great. I like books that have got pictures.
Yeah, this one's got. Hang on, I can't move too much. Get there.
I love live TV. I just love it. Go on.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. That's the one we're looking for. He's got a photo in his head.
Yeah, there's a lot of pictures in this one. And then my last two here to show you is this one's from Linda's album, Wide Prairie. And then there was one, the classical Garland for Linda, which was like the tribute after she had passed away. That one as well. I think I showed you them all now.
I think we've seen enough. That was fantastic. Do you agree, Terry?
It looks good. And when we're done, he can put them all. The window to his right is open. That's where the U-Haul is. He can put them all right back outside.
It's going to take me longer than we did this show to put them away.
Exactly.
Now, I've got to say something. I'll be honest with you. Looking through the songbooks, I'm being honest. When he started showing John's songbooks around the Dakota and that, it's really sad, like it touches your heart.
Yeah.
Same with when you were showing pictures of Linda on the sheet music. I mean,
Yep.
You get a knot in your throat, don't you?
Sure. And I do think it's interesting because of the aspect of when they start out. There's a blue cover with some font across the top that just says the name of the song, and there's hardly anything else there. And the transition over the years of putting the nice photos and all that, it's really cool to see how that works across time like that.
The last half dozen of Paul's albums, even though there's a songbook, there's no individual sheet music anymore.
Yeah. So there's been business decisions all along the way there of what to do and how to approach this kind of stuff.
Right. It went from the early days, like half the songs on the album they put out individually as sheet music.
Right.
Then it went to just the singles and the B-side of the singles, and then it went to none anymore. Just the songbook.
Which would probably make collecting the early ones interesting, because you're going to go, they made a single sheet music of that, or or something like that, where you just didn't think about all of them almost having sheet music made by.
The one album that stands out as they really sell for a lot of money is All Things Must Pass. The individual song sheets are, they're hard to get. They come up on eBay, they go for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. Cool.
I only have about a third of those.
Well, I just want to say, fantastic job, Guy. We loved your collection. And let me tell you, I can tell you now 98% of those songbooks and song sheets I haven't even seen.
Well,
so this is what makes this show so amazing, the Super Beatles collectibles. And we got another great show coming up. We got a very fantastic show coming up. We won't tell them what the subject's about, but that'll be a ripper. Don't you agree?
I agree.
I'm looking forward to that one, even though I'm not going to be on that one. That one's not part of my collection, but it's going to be great to watch. So,
well, I'll tell you what, Guy, you'll be tuning in, but what a fantastic job you did today.
Yes.
We loved it. And I want to say, Terry, this show is getting better and better because it's amazing what we actually cover and what's out there to show all the Beatle groups and the Beatle people. Like those sheet musics and songs, right? Song sheets are just totally immaculate. I mean, that's what really makes your collection, Guy. And I take my hat off to you because that's what really counts. When you've got something like that and people really, you're keeping it there historically for people to see. I'm just blown away myself.
Yeah, I always like these when they might be a genre or something that we're not really we don't have a lot of that in our collections. So these are great because you just get smarter as you go along here by listening to all this and understand what goes on. So I very much appreciate this, Guy. Your place it's excellent. I love it.
Yep, we want to thank you a lot, Guy. Wave goodbye to all your fans out there because after today, you got a lot of fans. And believe me, join us again right here on Super Beatles Collectors. We love you all. And make sure you go and buy Terry's book. And any of that sheet music that's double there, Guy, just send it to me.